How's everyone doing on this fine, almost end of September evening? Let me know how you're doing, where you're at, what time it is. It is 5 p.m. local time here in Kharkiv, and I hope the wind won't be too strong today. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. Thankfully, we did not get rained out, which what I was so worried about this whole week, because basically every single day there has been rain. I haven't really been able to film outside, so I'm very grateful that at least right now I think we should be free from rain. Hello to Mitos. Hello to Ukraine Dude. Hello to Bob from Florida. Alan K, Carrie, Janine, welcome everybody. And we are in the second largest city here in Ukraine. We are in Kharkiv. This is very eastern part of the country. We're actually super close to the Russian border. I think you could basically drive there in less than an hour. So definitely a part of the country that I haven't been to before, and really the first stop of a few different destinations that I'm going to do here in the east of the country. So I'm super excited to show you guys around. This is an amazing city, and it's actually going to be a really long tour as long as everything stays on schedule, because there's a lot of different places that I want to show you guys. Oh, hello to Michael and Alina. Thank you so much for coming out. Malta Network Resources, thank you for coming out. Neil from Florida, welcome. Stefan from Sweden, very cool. All right, guys, well, let's get into it. I'm going to flip the camera and show you the amazing view that I have here. I'm just sitting in a park, on a park bench, and we have the beautiful what is this one? There's two cathedrals, and I actually mixed up their names. One's Assumption, Annunciation. This is the Annunciation one. There's another one behind me called the Assumption Cathedral. So let me just go around here and give you guys a closer up view. Oh, we got somebody from Thailand even. Very cool. Costa's World of Music, Jim and Harriet, thank you for coming out. I actually am going to have a video going live tomorrow of my top 5 picks of things to see in Kharkiv, so you guys will actually get a closer view of this beautiful cathedral in that video. It's just a ways off from our regular route for me to go there right now, but I thought I would give you guys a view from this lovely park. So if we continue on over here, you will see in just a minute the other cathedral that I was talking about, but this area in and of itself is also really nice. Beautiful park in the center of the city. There's actually so many parks in Kharkiv. It's actually quite impressive, and hopefully if I can get to Gorky Park by the end of the night, you guys will see my favorite park here in Kharkiv. But this is the Assumption Cathedral. Look how gorgeous that is. Absolutely beautiful. And we are going to head north from this area. Hello to Monsoon from overcast and wet Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh, we got Andrei from Russia. Welcome. Paul from Venezuela. Jim Ross, welcome. Carrie actually asked a good question here. Alina, do a lot of the people speak Russian there? Probably obvious, but just curious if more Russian is spoken there. Absolutely, they do. I mean, it's not a absolute sort of rule by any stretch of the word. Most Ukrainians speak fluently both Ukrainian and Russian, but you will find that the language that is predominantly used in different parts of the countries kind of goes more in the west. You'll hear more Ukrainian, and here in the east you'll hear more Russian. Obviously not an absolute sort of rule, but definitely here in Kharkiv I would say you know, the language that I hear most people just speaking on the street and even in the stores and the restaurants, even though Ukrainian has kind of been mandated, is Russian. So Kharkiv, I think, is the largest primarily Russian-speaking city from my knowledge, just because Kiev over the past 10 years to have much more Ukrainian. So if you are a Russian speaker, this probably would be the easiest city for you, as it is for me. Let's see here. I'm gonna flip the camera here as I read your comments, guys. Hello to Christian from Toronto. Oh, we got Alexander from Kharkiv. Здравствуйте. Eric's son from San Francisco. Very cool. Carlton Young asks, going to any restaurants? I mean, I won't be going probably during this live stream, but yes, there's actually some fantastic restaurants here in Kharkiv. It definitely has a really good food scene. I'm going to give you guys one more view of the cathedral from here. As you'll see in my video tomorrow, Kharkiv definitely has surprised me for the better. It's a much more modern city than I was expecting. So it is actually strange to say that I think a few things are nicer in Kharkiv than they are in Kiev. Even though I think Kiev is probably, you know, the nicest city all around and has the most to offer, being the capital, having the largest population. But you guys, like, I'm excited to see what Kharkiv does in the next 5-10 years if they keep, you know, expanding the way they are. The city's very clean, and some people were actually saying it does have a lot to do with the mayor that I guess has taken over in the last few years, that he's made a lot of positive changes. So I would definitely say to keep your eye on Kharkiv, because I think this is definitely going to be one of the best cities to live in Ukraine. I mean, it probably already is. So where we are entering right now is Constitution Square, and I guess this is the beginning of the very, very central part of the city. This isn't actually the main square of the city, that'll be coming up later, but this is just one of the main places where there's two different subway stops for two different subway lines that you can jump onto. We have the Independence Monument of the city in this square. I'll give you guys a better view in just a second. And yeah, there's lots of government buildings. There's a really fancy mall in this area. Lots of good restaurants. There's a Puzata Hata right in front of us. So there's a lot to see and do. And right in front of us here, this glass building is actually the historical museum in Kharkiv. Unfortunately, it has been closed while I have been here, but I do hear every major city in Ukraine has their own. So this one's also quite nice. Oh no, is it buffering? I hope this stream is okay, guys. I do have Kyivstar. It's supposed to be the best one here. So I hope our stream will be all right. Okay, good. David asks, is it getting colder? All have coats. What's the temperature there? Yeah, it's a lot colder than I was expecting it would be, at least this past week. The first day that I got here, thankfully, was super nice, and Misha and I managed to shoot most of the video that first day while it was still nice and it was like plus 20. I was wearing this and I was like sweltering. It was so hot. You could easily go out in a t-shirt, but this past week that it's been like raining and everything, I think it's been a low of like 6 or 8, and then during the day it's like 12 or 13, and then just with being overcast and wind and stuff, it actually feels really cold. So even today I'm wearing like a sweater and my jacket, and I bought some gloves because it has been that cold. But I think starting on Monday it should be a lot warmer, which I'm looking forward to, because usually like September, October are still really nice times to visit Ukraine. So it's been a bit surprising that it's been as cold as it has. Hello to Vicky from Croatia. Very interesting destination. To answer Alan's question, is Misha there with you? No, Misha actually had to leave on Sunday because he actually has school. He is 18 and just starting university, but he is kind of only doing part-time sort of courses because now he actually has a job as a videographer for a company. He actually just got this job, so I'm super proud of him and excited for him. So he has a lot on his plate, so I think I'll be doing most of Eastern Ukraine by myself, and then maybe have him come out towards the end when there's this one really interesting place that I want to film and need some help with. So he will probably come out at that time. And like I said before, this is the historical museum. Very beautiful. Maybe I'll give you guys a view of the cannons and the tanks here in a minute. Pete in Montana asks, would it be possible to live in Kharkiv or Kremenchuk on $1,800 a month? Oh, absolutely. I mean, it depends what caliber of lifestyle you're expecting, but the rent, I think, is, you know, not a lot less than Kiev, but definitely less than Kiev. And if you weren't eating out all the time or had really expensive taste, you could definitely live a really good lifestyle here in Kharkiv on almost $2,000. I assume you mean US dollars anyway. It's a very budget-friendly place. Oh, John Johnson made a good comment in Russian. Kharkov – первая столица советского Украины. Yes, so that's another interesting sort of fact about Kharkiv, is that in 1919 to 1932, when Ukraine was like a socialist republic, this was the capital city. It wasn't Kiev. It was only in the 1930s that Kiev became the capital, as it still is now, but for those years Kharkiv was the capital. And even now, I think Kharkiv being the second largest city in Ukraine, I think their population, from what I heard from a local, is actually nearing 2 million. I thought that it was actually like 1.5 or something. I thought it was about half or less of Kiev, but apparently it's almost 2. So it's definitely a city that's growing as well. Oh my goodness. Ivan Safi, thank you so much for the generous super chat. That is so sweet of you. Those are the cutest little animated figures. Thank you so much, Ivan. Thank you for supporting my work, and I hope you are happy. What is happening? What the hell? Okay, guys, I am going to go underground, stay on the screen. It probably will go dark for a little bit, but I will be back, so stay put. We just got to cross the street. I mean, maybe it will actually work underground, but just from past experience, especially when I go underground, the signal tends to go. So let's see how we do this time around. We are entering one of the subway stop areas. Super busy because everybody's just getting off of work. Randomly. Let me just read your comments here, guys. I'll flip the camera. Oh, hello to Shigeru in Tokyo. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Michael. Yes, Kharkiv does have amazing women here. All right. All right, friends, we are going to keep moving. This is the city's GUM. If you remember this, in all the post-Soviet countries, each one has its own fancy department stores. This one's obviously been redone. And I really like how in the evening all of these lights turn on. Is just like super, super beautiful. Actually reminds me of that one famous street right near Red Square in Moscow that has all of the lights. At least that's the connection that I made. And some beautiful historic buildings here, like that blue one right in front of us. And then also a new mall called Avenue Plaza right in the corner. So it's really nice to see the blend of old and new architecture that they've used here in Kharkiv. Alexander, who I think had mentioned he's from Kharkiv in the comments here, says Kharkiv Gorod Studentov, and yes, he is correct. Kharkiv is considered to be the city of students. A lot of Ukrainians come to Kharkiv for their post-secondary education, and also, to be honest, what's been super surprising is seeing the amount of foreigners. I mean, maybe they are Ukrainians, maybe they were born here, but if you guys have been to Ukraine, you probably notice that there's not a lot of diversity. Like, that's just how it has been for a really long time. I mean, in terms of the way people look. But it's been really interesting here in Kharkiv, where I've seen, many more people that look like they're from different countries. So I think that's actually a really positive, cool thing to see, for Ukraine, because I think, it has gotten a bit homogenous, so to say, when the rest of the world is kind of evolving in that sort of way. Should I be able to skip here? One sec. But continuing on with the fact that it is a student city, I think I read that there's 38 different places, to go for college or for university and stuff. So definitely a lot for a city of almost 2 million people. This theater right here, right in front of us, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of like an acting sort of studio. Or not a studio, I mean like a hall where people can watch performances. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I know my mom would appreciate going to that kind of place. I've actually really wanted to go to a movie theater here in Ukraine, to watch an actual like Hollywood film or something. But from my understanding, they dub it over in Ukrainian. I thought it might be like, if it's an English movie, it'll stay in English and they have subtitles, but apparently it's dubbed over in Ukrainian. So I couldn't, hear what is being said or understand what is being said. So let me know, has anybody in the comments been to a movie theater here in Ukraine? Because maybe that's just in Kiev. Maybe here it might be different. I don't know. Oh, one sec, guys. All right. Bobby says that he saw me this afternoon. I don't know, Bobby, where you would see me. I've basically been at home the whole day, so I don't know about that, to be honest. Maybe I have a twin somewhere. Aw. Thank you so much to Rajesh for the super chat. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much. Oh, and it looks like you guys are saying that it would be dubbed. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate for me. Alright guys, so we are on basically the main street here in Kharkiv in the downtown core, Sumska. And I chose this street because basically all the main things to see and do in the city are on this street. It basically leads us to the final point for today's live stream. And there's also so many cool restaurants on this street. So if you guys come to, Kharkiv, I would recommend staying somewhere close to here, because then you'll have a lot of great places to eat and not have to really, walk so far. But with the subway, the metro that they have here, is actually quite a bit bigger than I was expecting. It's 3 lines like Kiev is, but it's not quite as big. Kiev, I believe, is 52 stations and Kharkiv is 30. But still, I feel like that's actually a fairly good size for almost 2 million people. So costs only, I think, about 35 cents or something like that per ride. Super reasonable. So that's another option if you had an Airbnb or something near a subway stop. Oh, hello to Francisco. Greetings from Chile, Alina. I love your live videos. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. So another strange thing that I've noticed here in Kharkiv, and maybe some locals could help me out with this, is I haven't found many souvenir stores. This is one of the few ones. But you guys, I'm looking for postcards. I have a Patreon, where I send my $25 plus tier a postcard every month. And I thought for sure here in Kharkiv I shouldn't have any issues finding any. But I haven't been able to find any. So if any locals could please suggest to me where I might be able to find some really nice, views of Kharkiv or attractions of Kharkiv postcards, please let me know, because I have looked all over the city and haven't found anything. So worst case scenario, I'll send it obviously from another city, but I was really hoping to send them while I was still here. And I thought this would be my best bet, and they do not have anything. So that is unfortunate. To answer David's question about the coffee, yes, the coffee has been fantastic here. There's so many good coffee shops, and if you go to the really kind of small local places, you can easily get a good Americano, let's say, for basically $1. So very reasonable for very good coffee. All right, we've got over 300 people in the room now. I'm very happy about that. I know this is a bit earlier than when I usually start, but since we are getting into the winter season, the lights are, oh, excuse me, the sun is setting earlier than usual, so I thought that I would start an hour earlier just so we get more time in the best light. Большое спасибо to Евгений. Спасибо большое. Thank you so much for the super chat. That is so very kind of you. Hope you're doing great. What is this car doing? One sec. Is this? Yeah, this is the street. There's actually a really cool mural I thought right there. I wanted to show you guys that. And yeah, this is Sumskaya. we are going to keep going north on it. Doug had asked, are you coming back to Canada soon? Good question, Doug. Most likely not soon, per se. I am hoping that my dad will be able to meet me at my next destination, which I'm not going to announce just yet. But if that is able to happen, I don't think I'll be coming back to Canada until maybe the end of spring next year. Because I personally just don't want to go back to Canada when it's already going to be like super cold and miserable out. So ideally, I hope my dad can meet me, and it'll also give him a break from the cold as well. Even though I am, fully vaccinated and could get into Canada, fairly easily, thankfully now, I still feel like it would make much sense to do it at this time of year. So next year is probably when I will go back, which will mean this is the longest I've ever been out of the country. I will then for sure have been traveling for over a year. I think the longest I've ever done was maybe 6 or 7 months, so like half the time. So that's, I guess, a personal milestone for me. Some other good questions that I see there, guys, I'll try and answer them soon. But check out this really cool building and fountains that they have here. We're getting closer and closer to kind of the heart of the city. This is actually Kharkiv's Opera and Ballet Theater, I guess it is called, but more so it's a concert hall. Like by the pictures that you can kind of see there, it's more of a concert hall, not like traditional ballet or opera or anything like that, but a very, very unique build. Thank you so much to Alan K for a hot beverage when there's chill in the air. Thank you so much, Alan. I will definitely be using that because probably by the end of this stream I will actually be quite chilly. It is quite cold around 9 or 10 p.m. So thank you very much for that. As I show you guys more of this area, I'll answer some more of your questions. Oh my gosh, we got somebody from Saskatoon. Hello. Oh, we got my friend Shifa, another wonderful YouTuber. Hello, lovely. I love your yellow coat. It brings color and happiness in such moody weather. Thank you, lovely. Yes, that's exactly why I wanted to bring it with me, because I find it's, it gets so dreary to just wear dark colors in dark weather. So I'm trying to actually bring more color into my wardrobe even when it's the fall winter season. Hope you're doing good. Rob, and my friend Lane is here. Hey, lovely. So glad you started earlier today because I can catch most of the live before work. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming out, and I'm looking forward to our chat tomorrow. Very excited to catch up on life with you. As we move forward here, a few people had asked about the COVID situation here in Ukraine, and I mean, what can I tell you guys? I mean, the cases have risen a bit in this past week. I think it's been an average of like 6,000 or 7,000 the last few days. But I mean, Ukraine does have a larger population of, 42 million or 43 million. So I don't know if I'd call that amount of cases, completely outrageous for that size of a population, but it is definitely higher than it had been maybe a month ago. So I don't know if they're going to do more restrictions in this coming month. We'll see how things go. But as you can see, at least here in Kharkiv, most people don't seem to be too worried, to put it slight. You're supposed to wear a mask whenever you're in any indoor kind of places, but you will see a lot of people just breaking that rule. And I mean, Ukraine doesn't have a large amount of their population vaccinated, so you know, it is what it is. Can't really, you know, change people's minds or whatever. And I think, you know, it's up for the society to decide how they want to deal with this sort of situation. So I'm just relaying the facts. Oh, I see 2 super chats here. One from Jim Ross, thank you so much. Just by what you're showing and your statement about it being a university city, as it seems to be a young demographic. Alberta and Saskatchewan are locking down again, so no point in sitting inside at -40. Yes, that's exactly it, Jim. Because I was thinking that, you know, there's a good chance. I wouldn't be surprised that even though Canada has such a high vaccination rate, that they might still lock down. So I'm just like, if I come back, spend all this money to come back, yes, of course, my main priority is to see my family and friends. But if we're just going to be sitting at home the whole time, I may as well wait until hopefully in the spring when the numbers come down again and things are open. That would be a much better time to go. So that's the other reason that I wouldn't preferably like to go to Canada at this point in time. But thank you so much, Jim. Very kind of you. SFC Paul, thank you so much for coming out again. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Hope you are having a lovely morning. I think you said you were from the USA, so thank you so much for coming out. You guys are incredibly sweet to support my channel. Let me flip here and give you guys another view of the concert hall. One really great thing about Kharkiv, as you'll probably get a sense of further along on this live stream, is that they are immaculate with some of their like pruning of trees and just the way they do their parks. Like, honestly, I haven't seen this well kept of parks outside of Japan, and that is saying a lot. That is definitely saying a lot. So whoever is in charge for organizing the cleanliness and kind of, you know, preservation of the parks here in the city, I will give them huge props, because they are in fantastic shape and are just so lovely to be in. So Kharkiv gets all the points for absolutely gorgeous parks. We're actually going to enter one right now, Taras Shevchenko Park, which is absolutely beautiful. So a lot of really good questions here. Give me one sec, guys. Oh, a super chat, or super chat from Martin. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you? I am doing good, Martin. Very happy to be here in the city, and very happy to be seeing a part of Ukraine that I have never seen before, and very happy to be able to freely, you know, speak Russian. Even though I'd like to improve my Ukrainian, it is comforting for me, you know, to openly be able to just speak Russian with everybody. So that has been nice for me personally. So thank you once again, Martin. Let's see here. Oh, we got Dmitry from Siberia. Definitely getting cold there, probably. Thank you very much, Global Nico. I'm glad all you guys are loving my jacket. Thank you to Alexander from Germany. Спасибо большое. Man, we got people from all over the world today. That is super cool. I love that. All right, so let me take you on a little tour here of the park. Yeah, like, to be honest, it's almost strange that the parks here are so much nicer than the ones we have in Kiev. Like, my favorite parks in Kiev, probably, there's also a Taras Shevchenko Park in Kiev as well. So that park is really nice, but it's actually not that big per se. The botanical gardens are also nice, but they're definitely not, you know, that manicured. Park area is like old Soviet times kind of stuff. There's nothing quite like this in Kiev, which I find so strange. How can a capital city not have the nicest parks in the country? So it's super impressive that Kharkiv has this. Oh, we got Timothy from Western Australia. Very cool. We got Rajan from Czech Republic. Thank you so much to Malta Network Resources for the super chat. Enjoying your Ukraine videos. Best regards. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. There will be a lot more coming up. I was posting only once a week, and that was kind of hard enough because I had so many plans just visiting with my family. But now that I'm on my own and really putting all my energy towards work, I think I will be having most weeks with 2 videos coming out. So many more videos to come. Thank you for the super chat. So I'm going to flip the camera and answer a question that I saw here from Daryl Miller, who asked, speaking Russian, do you ever find Ukrainians being hostile to you? A fair question, but that is definitely not the case. Like, even though, you know, I say that I'm more comfortable when it's a Russian-speaking city, that just means that I don't have to go through the whole shtick that if somebody speaks Ukrainian to me, it's always assumed that, you know, if you're speaking Russian to them and they speak Ukrainian to you, it's assumed that I understand Ukrainian because most people here understand Ukrainian. And it's totally normal for somebody to speak in Ukrainian and the other person to answer in Russian if they so feel like it. Like, that's a super common occurrence. So for me, sometimes I will just let them keep speaking Ukrainian if it's a simple enough conversation and I understand it. You know, I catch a word here and there and I can kind of make out, you know, what they're meaning to say. But if stuff comes up where I have no idea what they said, I then have to go through the spiel of like, I'm sorry, I only understand Russian or something like that. And usually, you know, they will just switch over to Russian, no problem. So no, I have never had anybody who was hostile to me. And as I've said before, you will hear plenty of people still speaking Russian, you know, just on the street or something like that. It is absolutely not taboo to be speaking Russian in Ukraine. I really don't understand how anybody actually thinks that's the case when the Soviet Union was just 30 years ago. Like, do you think people just, you know, forget the language that was spoken, you know, on such a wide scale just because times have changed? Like, of course not. Even in Armenia, even though maybe most locals will be speaking in Armenian, it is super easy for them to switch over to Russian, and they know it on a fluent sort of scale, which is why it was so easy for me to travel there. So definitely no hostility to somebody speaking Russian. Oh, that's so cool. Sans in the USA, you are most welcome for showing your place of birth, your city of birth. My pleasure. And yes, I really do like to walk Francisco. That is definitely my daily thing. So this is the first of many fountains. There's also a beautiful little bridge that we're gonna go across where it's like a whole row of fountains. Very beautiful. Aw, thank you so much for the super chat, Nathalie. That is so sweet of you. I hope that you will check out Kharkiv at some point on your trips to Ukraine. Thank you so much for coming out, and hope you're having a lovely day. Another fellow Canuck. Oh, what did I do? I almost ended my live stream. That would have been bad. Oh, Nathalie had actually a good comment here. I know a beautiful family from Kharkiv, but I didn't realize it was such a big and beautiful city. Thank you for showing it to us. Yes, honestly, like I had no idea either, even though I knew it was the second largest city. Somehow, because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, like usually I'd say, you know, Odessa or Lviv are usually the other two major cities in Ukraine that I always hear people suggesting a tourist visit or have a lot going on. But I'm like, my gosh, like why aren't more people talking about Kharkiv? Like it's so big, it has so much to offer, it's such a beautiful place. So definitely worth coming to. Brad says you guys love your fountains in Russia or Soviet states. Yes, there's a great love for fountains in this part of the world. Oh, hello to the beautiful Brianna. Thank you for coming out, lovely. Michael asks, do they light some of the fountains at night? Yes, they do. The parks are honestly just as beautiful at night, and lots of people are still like, you know, walking around at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock or whatever. I think it's an overall very safe city as well. I see lots of families, you know, walking around even late at night. So yeah, it's really beautiful to visit, even if it isn't daytime. This is the bridge that I was talking about. And look how gorgeous it is. Absolutely stunning. They did a really good job with this park. And this isn't even my favorite park. As I said, I'm saving my favorite park until the last. But Taras Shevchenko is the park that's right beside the main city square. So it's definitely worth visiting as well. And what's nice is like just in the parks, you can also go to like, I think that's a different cafe and restaurant over there. And it's in this park that's also the zoo. I think that's actually the entrance right there. I haven't been yet, but it's one of the oldest zoos in Ukraine. So it's right in the city center. So if any, you know, tigers got loose, it would be a problem. It would be a great problem. A few people have actually asked me if I'm thinking of going to Lviv. I don't know, to be honest. I was thinking about it because there was one person that I thought I would meet there, but it looks like their plans have changed. So now I don't know if my schedule will really allow for it, just because I'm spending more time here in Kharkiv, because we did have basically a whole week of rain and I wasn't able to film everything I wanted to film. I'll basically be doing it in the next few days. So I may still go, but it would probably be more towards the end of the month, and only if I film everything that I wanted to film in the eastern part of the country. Jay made a comment about the Canadian election that happened. For any non-Canadians, our current Prime Minister Justin Trudeau won again in a minority government. I was actually surprised that the election came up as quick as it did, like 2 days before the election, when my parents and I were talking and they said, oh yeah, you know, I just went to vote. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, did it come up already? Like, it felt like they campaigned for just a couple of weeks and then right away the vote happened. So obviously I was not able to vote. I think there is a way for people out of the country to get their ballots, but because I have no idea a month in advance where exactly I'm going to be and where to have things sent, and then, you know, to also send it in, it's a bit of a process. So I did not vote in the Canadian election, but to be honest, I wouldn't be that excited about any of the choices. You know, it is what it is. Let's hope for the best for the next 4 years or 5 years. I actually can't even remember off the top of my head how long a Canadian Prime Minister is in. Fellow Canucks, is it 4 years or is it 5 years? Let's go this way. And even with the terrible weather that we have had for this past week, it is still really nice that everything is super green. It really brightens my mood when the trees still have their leaves. It still feels like the tail end of summer. Something about that better weather just puts me in a better mood. One person says 5 years, the other one says 4 years. We still don't know for the Canadian election. Well, it's definitely not 3 years. Cute old ladies. I don't know if most of you guys follow me on Instagram, but earlier in this past week, I had actually posted this really cute story of when I was in Gorky Park, and there was this whole group. Well, it must have been like some kind of, I don't know, like group or like convention of seniors that were literally having like a dance party in the middle of Gorky Park, and it was just the cutest thing I have ever seen. And it was just really lovely, you know, when I think about all the old people that in North America are probably, you know, stuck in homes right now, and understandably, you know, there's certain restrictions about them being able to see family super easily, but obviously here in Ukraine things are different, and they were literally having a dance party, so it just felt like such a twilight zone in comparison to what it would be in Canada. Oh. Oh, my friend Lane says, I think we're stuck with him for another 4 years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is 4 years. I'm almost certain. So friends, we have finally made it to Svobodny Square, which translates to Freedom Square. And initially when I came here, and I had read that it's the largest square in Europe, I was very confused, because usually, you know, city squares, they usually have a park in the middle or something like that, or some kind of, you know, area that makes it look like a city square. But this is it. This is the actual city square, even though they have, you know, cars parked in the middle of it, which wouldn't be the way I would have done it. But the good thing is that they can have festivals or concerts in this area when they do ban cars from parking here, and this whole area basically is set up, you know, as a outdoor concert sort of area. So it is the biggest square in Europe, which is pretty cool, and it is absolutely huge. After these cars pass, we are just gonna go across the street, and I'll kind of show you that area over there. Wealthiest man alive, my Instagram is just my name. It's just Alina McLeod. It was not taken down. It's just Alina McLeod, one after the other. Just reading your questions here, guys. Oh, I missed a super chat from Sneha. Thank you so much. Hi from India, love your videos, lives. Have a long question so you'll get it in two parts. I'm really curious about the flower patches all around the park. They look very beautiful. Let me try and find your second part. Can you give a closer look in a video? If not now, then explain the colors. What the color on the ground, the green, blue, red, is a paint, and in the plants, red, yellow, pink. Yeah, sorry, we have already past that part, but if I see some more of those, I will definitely point the camera to it. But I think the ones that we saw in the beginning there were actually the, what's the English term for it? It's almost like the symbol of Ukraine. It's, what's the word, guys? What's the word that I'm trying to think of? Emblem of Ukraine. It basically like signifies like the independence of Ukraine. So I think if that's the one that you were referring to, that's what the symbol was. But I don't know the kinds of flowers that they are. I'm not super well versed in that. But yeah, they've done an absolutely beautiful job on the landscaping here in Kharkiv. So if I see some others, I will definitely do a close-up. So thank you very much for the super chat. We're getting closer to the middle part here. Let's see. Oh, hello to Gediminas. Thank you for coming out. All right, guys. Oh, we got somebody from Sydney, Australia, table 41. Welcome. There's a beautiful hotel actually in this part of the square. It's called Kharkiv Palace, and I actually plan on hopefully going there at some point, where if you can see kind of on the top floor there's a really nice kind of restaurant bar patio, which also gives you a really beautiful view of the city. I meant to actually go there when Misha was here, but unfortunately our last day the weather was not the best. So that's another cool sort of landmark place. And then over here, this building is actually the National University of Kharkiv. I think there are some other buildings outside of just of this one that are some of the other different faculties, but this is the main building. I'll give you another view in just a minute. But we're gonna go closer to these epic fountains, other epic fountains, and the building that's behind the fountains also has a very interesting story. So I'll tell you guys about that in just a second. Yes, a super chat from Harriet and Jim. Thank you so much for the super chat. Be well, be safe, my friend. Greatly appreciated, you guys. Hope you are doing well and staying happy and healthy. Daryl asks what currency is used in Ukraine. It is the hryvnia. Grivnia, I guess, is the more Russian term that I've used for it, but it does start with an H, and the abbreviation is UAH, which is kind of actually confusing. So yeah, if you ever wanted to convert quickly on Google the currencies, you'd go to like USD to UAH. That is how you would look up the difference in currency. One sec, guys. I'm just having a little buffer here with the questions.
Мой друг в Марокко, он привет.
Привет. Some random dude was just doing a video chat and like put the camera on me and made me say hi to his friend. So that's what that was. Very random. Thank you so much to Martin B for the super chat. Thanks for another great tour. Hope you get some better weather. Thank you so much, Martin. I hope so too. I really hope so, because if it wasn't for me and Misha having the first couple of days be good weather and being able to film that video, I'd have next to no, content from here, because I don't want to film, when it's just like miserable outside. It really makes a city look not so attractive. So I really hope that at least the next few days will be quite nice as well. So this is the fountain, guys. And if it was summer and warm out, I would 100% like try and run through here, because I bet you could actually do it without getting too wet. But it does change, that's the thing. So you could actually get hit and not expect it. And at night here, this one, they light up in a really beautiful way. So this is another really beautiful area of the city to hang out in. But we are going to go over here to give you a view of the university real quick. Thank you so much to Table 41 for the super chat. Hi Alina, don't really have a question, but wanted to thank you for sharing your travels with us during these times. My pleasure. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I actually can't believe that I have been traveling, I think, for a year of the time that COVID has been a thing. Because when it first happened, I was thankfully in Canada and then waited for about 5 months to see how things would kind of unfold before leaving. So it has basically been a year of traveling during these crazy times. So it is my pleasure to be out of, the country and get to see some places in a very, very odd time. So thank you so much. I don't know off the top of my head what faculties these particular buildings have. So if any locals know, I think that would be an interesting thing to note, because in a way, it kind of looks like a scary building, like, does it not? I think it's because of these tall pillars. It almost makes it look like, I don't know, some kind of scary headquarters of some kind of villains. That's kind of my first impression of it, but it is the university. It was obviously built in Soviet times and is a very grand and well-built sort of building, so absolutely beautiful. Two super chats. The first from Jim Ross. Thank you so much. How many days do you spend scouting your routes? Your walk and talks are always so interesting and picturesque. You have a real knack for making these fun. Well, thank you so much, Jim. I have tried to, put effort into planning my routes ahead of time. So I write down, a few things to talk about, but obviously everything's off the top of my head once we get going, and some things I forget, but it is what it is. But usually I try and take at least a day to walk the route that I plan on going to. I make some notes and kind of review them before I start the actual stream. So it does take a bit of pre-planning to do them, but it's definitely not as much work as my videos. Like, my videos take much more time to plan, film, produce, obviously, than a live stream. So it is actually nice that the response for these has been as good as they have, because it doesn't take me as long as a video. So I'm glad you guys like them. So thank you so much to Jim. And then Brianna, thank you so much. Lovely stream as always, Alina. I have to be going, but have enjoyed this. Thank you so much, lovely. I greatly appreciate your support, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Sending you lots of love. And then there's another super chat from Sneha. When you do a video, tell us if those are flowers or leaves. Are these autumn colors? Do they look same in summer, spring? I love places filled with colors. So what you saw there was flowers, like the shapes, the things that were like manicured, that were the different colors. Those were for sure flowers. I don't think any of them were just like leaves per se. I don't think they were that kind of plant as far as I remember. And obviously in the winter they would be gone. They will die, unfortunately, over the winter, but I'm sure they're either perennials or they replant them or something. But yeah, when it's winter here, it is cold. Like, I think Kharkiv is probably not too different in temperature from Kiev, so it could easily get as cold as like -20, -30 in the coldest of the winter. So friends, here we are. This beauty right here also kind of looks like some kind of villain headquarters, in my opinion. But this unique set of buildings, definitely different for Ukraine as well, is called Держпром. And these were built in Soviet times, and from my understanding, were the first skyscrapers in Ukraine. Like, these were the tallest buildings that they had at the time. There was really nothing else that that was built that was quite like this. Like, definitely a modern brutalist sort of architecture style that was not that common outside of, you know, maybe the Soviet bloc sort of apartments that came later. But yeah, I think this is a very unique sort of building, especially with the bar that goes to walk across the two buildings. Yeah, Dennis put built in 1928. So, you know, if this was built in 1980, I'd say, well, you know, that's not that weird. But to be built in 1928, a building like this was really out there. So, very interesting building, and I believe it is still used as sort of government offices, since we are right here in the downtown part of the city. Oh, привет, Дмитрий из Казахстана. Здравствуйте. It's just a question I wanted to answer. I'm just trying to find it. Can't seem to find it, sadly. But thank you once again to Table 41 for the super chat. Thank you kindly. Would you consider doing a collab with Johnny FD? I mean, maybe. He and I don't know each other personally. Obviously, we have some mutual friends and stuff, but I haven't really, you know, chatted with him whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, if our paths seem to cross, he looks like a really nice guy. I'm sure we'd have things in common. So maybe comment on his videos if you guys are interested in us collabing sometime. But yeah, we haven't spoken personally yet, so to say. So guys, I will give you one last look of the fountains here, and we are going to be continuing to head north to my favorite park that I am just in love with. I actually want to if you guys were in my last live when I was in Kiev, and if you saw my hatred for these scooters that almost ran me over about 10 times in the span of that live, you will be surprised to know that I am actually thinking of renting one of these said scooters and riding it around Gorky Park, because it is so big, and because there you actually have the room to, you know, safely ride a scooter and not run other people over. So I guess I am turning into exactly what I said I hate. But at some point I do want to take one of those damn things out and go for a ride. Thank you so much to Shigeru, my very good friend. Thanks for always making my days brighter with your smile. Fantastic videos and live streams from a big fan. Thank you so much, Shigeru. That is so sweet of you. I hope you are having a fabulous day, and I greatly look forward to the day when I read the headline that Japan is opening for tourism. It will be such a beautiful day, and I will probably begin planning my plane ticket as soon as that happens. I really hope that next year will be the year. I really hope that it will work out. So thank you so much, Shigeru. All right. I think this is the other part of the university. Yeah, it has the sign Universitet. So it's kind of actually on both sides of the Держпром buildings. Oh, good question, Timothy. Do we get to see the mirror stream fountain? Not in this live stream. That I actually meant to skip over and show you guys the concert hall instead, because the mirror stream fountain and that surrounding area will be in my video tomorrow. So if you'd like to take a look at that, you will be able to see it in my video tomorrow. Just reading your comments here, guys. One sec. World Citizen asks, hi Alina, are you going to collaborate with Taya Ukraine? Yes, that is the collaboration that I think is for sure that I'm going to do in Ukraine. We have already met up for coffee and just to get to know each other because we hadn't met before. And she's like the nicest woman. I was about to say girl, but I'm like, even though she's younger than me, she's obviously, you know, an adult. She's not a girl, she's a woman. So yeah, she's like the nicest person, and we should be collaborating once I'm back in Kiev. So that will be lots of fun because she has a really good channel as well. All right. Oh, see, at least they didn't run me over. That's the nice thing about Kharkiv, see, is that the streets are actually, I don't know, they feel wider in Kiev, or there's less people or something. It's not as scary to walk around here. Oh, that's awesome to hear, Katie, that you are going into Kharkiv in a month. I hope you have a wonderful time. It is such a great city. We got another subway station here. We got Держпром. I assume this is the green line because it's green. All right, let me go around here. I got to get back on the main road, and we are going to follow that all the way to Gorky Park. We have already been going for almost 70 minutes, which, to be honest, is a bit longer than I thought that it would take to get here. So I did charge my phone to the max before we left, so I hope that I will have enough phone battery to last me until then. We will make it as far as we possibly can. Thankfully now I actually have a one sec here. I have a unlimited phone plan here in Ukraine. I got Kyivstar, as I mentioned before, and basically it's unlimited, but the 4G speed will only cover 50 gigabytes, which, to be honest, it's plenty. You could say it's plenty. I find that the average that I think I use on my travel trips, where I'm like, you know, doing live streams, I'm sending big files, I'm hotspotting with you know, my computer somewhere if I don't have good Wi-Fi or something. I think I use on average 30 gigabytes in a month in a plan, so 50 should be more than enough, but you technically can use as much as you want. It's just after 50 the speeds won't be as fast. But then I also get 180 minutes for phone calls, but strangely enough I don't get text messages, which I found really weird. But I mean, that's fine, I can just use Messenger or whatever. But that kind of phone plan cost me 15 oh, it hurts to say it, 15 Canadian dollars for a 50 gigabyte package. Like, I think I'm laughing because of the ridiculousness of saying that. Yeah, 15 Canadian dollars for 50 gigabytes. Yep. Oh, my mom is here. Всем привет и хорошего просмотра. My mom is wishing everybody a nice viewing session. I don't know if that's how you translate it. Amazing. Спасибо, Mom. Thank you for coming out. I hope many of you guys had checked out 2 videos ago that my mom starred in. Gave us a fabulous tour of Kiev, talking about the changes that have happened in the Soviet Union. I think that's actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever done, and definitely one of my best in Ukraine. So if you guys haven't already seen that video, definitely go check that out. Oh, a big thank you to Harriet and Jim once again. Thank you for the super chat. Will you make it to the US soon? We would like to host you here in Virginia. Thank you so much. Well, you know, I've wanted to do a US road trip actually for the longest time, but the only thing that concerns me is that US is one of the few places that I'm worried about making some kind of restrictions of not letting people in that are vaccinated with AstraZeneca. Like, I don't think they're going to do that. I think that would be a bit silly of them to restrict, you know, one of the most well-used vaccines in the world. So if they did that, that would obviously be a problem for me. But I think we'll probably hear in the next month what the US is going to be doing with rules as far as entry. And if it isn't too complicated, maybe probably not next year I would do the US trip, but maybe the year after that I would do a US road trip. And if I did it, I would do like a good 3 or 4 months, since I can be in the US for up to 6 as a Canadian. So that is definitely something that I would love to do sometime. And maybe, yes, maybe I will make a stop and go for a coffee with you guys. So thank you very much for your support, guys. Jim Ross, thank you so much. You may have answered this, but due to buffering, I missed it. Alina, does every major city in Ukraine and Russia have a Gorky park? Who was Gorky? My 4 hours a day of Japanese are set up for 4 months of study. Love Japan. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jim. No, definitely outside of Russia, I don't think there's actually really any Gorky parks left. I think a lot have been renamed, you know, just because of the Soviet Union ending. Like, technically this park, I think, is renamed to just Central Park, but a lot of people still just call it that because it always has been Gorky Park, and I think it's named after Maxim Gorky. Please let me know in the comments why he's famous. I just know his name. I don't know exactly what he did. But yeah, in the Soviet Union, there was a whole bunch of different Gorky parks in different countries that were part of the Soviet Union. But obviously the most famous one is in Moscow, as in the song by the Scorpions, I think it is, Wind of Change. Follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park or something like that. I think that's the lyrics. I think that's where most people know Gorky Park from. Maxim Gorky is an important writer. Thank you. Yes, or if that answer is correct, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, because Kharkiv is, you know, a Russian-speaking city, even though I'm sure many people, you know, are still very much feel Ukrainian in their soul. They just speak Russian, but they definitely, you know, have much closer ties to Russia and Russian culture, being so close to the border. So I feel like this is probably one of the last Gorky parks still named that after the Soviet Union has broken up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you so much for the super chat from Amor Mezache. I apologize if I incorrectly pronounced your name, but thank you so much for the super chat and the very cute good luck little cat. Thank you so much. Here from Misha, Mito should know. Maxim Gorky was a Russian and Soviet writer and political activist. Okay, yes. Thank you for that. So guys, we are leaving Svobodny Square. And yeah, as I mentioned before, you basically can just walk this whole street and just, you know, see all the main things that this city has to offer. It's a really great walk for somebody who's like scared of getting lost, right? Sometimes when I, you know, go traveling with my parents or something, and you know, they aren't travelers, like I'm a traveler and stuff, so if we didn't have like Google Maps or something, I would say just like go on this one street, just go straight and then just come all the way back. Like instead of giving complicated directions of like turn right, turn left or whatever, I like to just tell people this is the main street, just go up it and then go down it. You can't get lost. So this is definitely that area of the city here. There's a lot of really great cafes and restaurants over this way. There's actually a really nice KFC even over there. Really fancy seating. All right, while we wait for the light to turn, I'm just going to look over your comments. Oh yeah, we've got over 400 people here. Amazing. Very happy to see that. What's interesting is that I think my biggest like live stream turnouts in the time that I have been doing this, I think have been in Albania. Surprisingly enough. I mean, obviously my videos in Albania did quite good, but like I remember we were getting like 800-900 people sometimes in Albania. So that was actually quite surprising. So we'll see if any other destination will be able to beat those numbers, and maybe we'll get over 1,000 in here someday. That would be very cool. Gonna read here, guys. I think somebody had asked a question about a budget here in Ukraine, and I would say I can only speak as like a tourist sort of budget. Obviously, to live here is a whole other question of what like rent for a month would cost, and if you were always cooking at home, you know, what an exact budget would be. It would for sure be under $2,000 per month. But as a tourist, I would say that you can expect that the average one-bedroom central Airbnb is going to be about $40 US, I would say. Like if you get a nicer sort of place, there's definitely some cheaper ones, but they just won't be quite as new. Hotels will probably be kind of a similar price, but you can also find places for like $20. You know, if you are okay with the basic of basic, you can definitely get a hotel room for like $20 a night. Hostels are like $10 or less. And I think if you did have more of a budget sort of mentality, you could easily like see this city with like a $40 a day budget. So it's very, very inexpensive to come here. Oh, I see a super chat from Rahul. Thank you so much. Amazing live stream. Kharkiv looks like a modern, well-planned city, and I'm so glad that the rain gods decided to hold back today so I can see it in real time. Yes, me too. Thank you so much, Rahul. I greatly appreciate your support, and yeah, I'm just so grateful that today worked out, because I was thinking that if today was going to be rain, I would try and push it until Monday or Tuesday, because tomorrow there might actually be rain, and I was worried that on weekdays maybe not so many people would be able to come out. So actually let me know in the comments here, guys, if you can, are you okay with coming out around this time on weekdays, or would you prefer I stay on weekends? Because I just assume that weekends would be better for most people, but I don't technically know. But thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you so much for coming out, and I hope you are able to visit this fabulous city at some point in time. Let me just not walk into people. Chris Medin says Russia's about 49 kilometers away. Yeah, it's really crazy actually to even just like look on it in Google Maps, and it's like right on the border. So kind of crazy that if it was open, if they allowed Canadians in. I assume there's a land border fairly close to Kharkiv. I know there's obviously no, I don't think there's any trains that go directly into Russia from Ukraine because of, you know, the political situation, but I think the land borders are still open, which would mean I could get a taxi to like drive me to the land border, and then I would, you know, have another taxi pick me up at the other side, kind of what I did with Bulgaria, North Macedonia. So if they let me in, I could just pop on over to Russia, but no such luck, unfortunately. Okay. Alan K says weekdays are fine. Love Christina Rose says okay with weekdays. Okay, cool. Maybe I will, like at some point, you know, I will most likely try and stick to primarily weekends, but maybe I will throw a weekday in there sometime, because I think I am going to live stream from Dnipro as well, which I will be going to, if I film everything, probably at the end of this coming week. So probably there will be a live stream this coming Saturday or Sunday if the weather is good. So I'm definitely going to try and do more live streams for you guys as well. Mikhail commented she's not crazy to go to Donetsk or Luhansk. Yeah, you know, I know that those kinds of going to those areas would obviously get me a lot of views, but to be honest, I do think it's a bit dangerous to say the least, even though I've heard that Luhansk has been much more, you know, quiet without any kind of you know, issues going on lately. But with Donbass, I don't know if I could even technically get in there. I don't know if they still have like checkpoints where, you know, unless you're a Ukrainian citizen, you can't go to that area. I don't know if they're still doing that sort of thing. So even though it would be a really interesting sort of experience to have and talk with the local people, I just don't think it's the safest thing to do by any stretch of the word. Oh, that's a cute little van here. Very nice. Oh yeah, Michael, who's in Ukraine and has a Ukrainian significant other, says, I don't think you can, according to Alina. Yeah, I mean, you could sneak in, obviously. There's obviously going to be a way you could sneak into that area, but, you know, if they caught you, that's obviously an issue as well. And what would I say? Oh, I just wanted to make a YouTube video, you know. I'm a YouTuber, so yeah, I don't know. This is a cute little coffee shop, Caffeine, Kavarna. Cute little place. Caffeine, I'm pretty sure means just caffeine, as far as I know. Thank you very much to DV. Alinka Malinka, привет. Приятного вечера. Спасибо большое. It's a very cute name. I will take it. Who just asked me? Carlton asked, will you go to Zaporozhye or Mykolaiv? Yes, I will definitely go to Zaporozhye because my grandma and great grandma were actually born there, and my great-grandma lived there, even in her adult years, for a long time. So even though Zaporozhye is definitely not considered to be like a tourist, kind of city, I haven't heard that it has a lot of like attractions per se in that regard. But just for my own family history, I've been meaning to go there for quite some time. So I think actually after Dnipro, I will be going to Zaporozhye. Just cross the street here. Yes, Sans, I will be trying to show the Ferris wheel in Gorky Park. As long as my phone battery lasts until I get there, I will definitely show you guys the Ferris wheel in Gorky Park, because it is, I think, the tallest one in Ukraine. Because even though there's the one in Kiev, just from looking at the two, I'm pretty sure this one is higher up, and it just has a lovely view of the city if you go on it, and it only costs like $2 a ride. It's amazing. And this street that we're actually walking on now is really lovely. There's a lot of really nice shops down here, lots of good restaurants and cafes. There's a knockoff Victoria's Secret store. I'm surprised there's actually these here in Ukraine, because obviously they're illegal. I don't think Victoria's Secret authorized them to basically use their branding and sell their products, because there is no official Victoria's Secret stores in Ukraine. But I guess some people just import the items and have built up their own Victoria's Secret stores. Black market. Yeah, it is getting a bit darker now. I'm glad that I started at 5 p.m. because I think by 7:30 the sun is basically almost set. So I hope that we'll be able to get into the park. I'll show you guys just a brief little overview of it, and in tomorrow's video you guys will be able to see much more of it, because that's definitely one of the points that I wanted to showcase for the main video of Kharkiv. Sneha asks, hey Alina, any plans of visiting India soon? Saw your Instagram story about India opening up for travelers. Would love to suggest some things. The usual itineraries given to foreigners don't show the real India. Yeah, I would love to go back to India, because I have been 11 years ago, a long time ago. And obviously I was a much more inexperienced traveler then. But I definitely went off the beaten path. I definitely didn't go to just the regular attractions that tourists go to. I will give myself that at age 19, that I definitely saw some of the real India as well. But yeah, I'm definitely open to suggestions of what else to see and do. I saw a lot of the north, kind of the center to the north areas. And the most northern areas of India were actually my favorite. So in this next trip, maybe I would do more of the south, but I would also love to go back to Dharmasala, McLeod Ganj, the place that technically shares my last name, where the Dalai Lama lives. Yeah, there's a lot of places in India I really liked and would love to go back sometime. Hello to Alex from Brazil. Hello to Renegar from Mexico. Let's see here. Hop across the street. Oh, getting tired, guys. I walked all day earlier today. I'm probably going to clock in 30 kilometers today. Thank you so much to John Boreski. Hello from Victoria, BC. Grandfather was born in, I actually don't know how to pronounce that, Przemysl, Poland, right on the border with Ukraine. I have relatives all around that area, including Ukraine. Thanks for the great tour. My pleasure. Yes, it's always great to go back to where family roots are and actually see it with your own eyes. Definitely a worthy experience. Thank you so much for the super chat. View from Lookout. Nice to see you here again. Thank you so much. So actually, I'm going to answer the question from VKT saying that they missed the first hour and wanted to know what my general impression of Kharkiv has been. So because I think more people kind of joined in this last half hour, yeah, just to give you guys a brief sort of synopsis of what I kind of said in the beginning, is that Kharkiv has been very surprising in a positive way. Like, it's much more modern and a very peaceful, like very relaxed sort of city, I would say. Very clean, which is really nice. And I think one of the top reasons for that is because maybe you'll see in Gorky Park, they have put trash cans everywhere. And that is so smart. Because like even in Kiev, it's like maybe they have hired people to clean, you know, the streets, but there's not enough garbage cans that a lot of them are just like overflowing, you know, by the end of the day or something, and it just leaves trash everywhere and looks really bad. So here in Kharkiv, I think it's so much cleaner because they made the right decision of like putting trash cans everywhere, and they even have signs of like, thank you for keeping our city clean. So, you know, that positive sort of affirmation of everybody doing their part, don't you dare litter. So whatever Kharkiv is doing in that regard, I think not only a lot of Ukrainian cities could learn from, but just the world in general could learn from, because I really hate seeing trash all over the place in cities and things just being, you know, unkept and stuff. There's really no excuse for it, so it's nice in Kharkiv that things are overall very well taken care of here. So guys, I think we're gonna make it. I haven't gotten a warning that I'm at 20% battery as I usually do. And we are basically at the entrance of the park, which is right there. So I think I for sure will be able to give you a little tour of the main part of the park, because it's huge. Like, there's no way I could show you the whole park tonight before it gets dark, but I'll show you the Ferris wheel, go down the main drag of it, and you guys will see why it's my favorite park here in the city. And we've got a nice restaurant here right on the corner. I think that's a smart idea too, to have like good eating places right beside the park or in the park. That's also really convenient. Oh, they've even got one of those like Italian pizza ovens in there, I saw. Very nice. Oh, that's nice to hear from Harriet and Jim that they did a tour of Lithuanian Kiev. That's very cool. Actually, yeah, let's go to the main gates, but first let me show you actually the map. This is the map of the part. And see, I think, you know, as I was saying, they're trying to change, you know, the names of Gorky Park, even though, you know, the locals will call it Gorky Park. On Google Maps, it shows still Gorky Park, but, you know, with Ukrainians kind of getting rid of any Soviet stuff here on the map, it says Centralny Park, which means Central Park. So, or actually, no. Actually, I can't read obviously what all that says, but Gorokhovo, I think that is the Ukrainian version of Gorky, so they have left his name in. So nice. It's still technically Gorky Park. And see, like, look at these trees. Everything's so nicely manicured. I'm going to take you guys to the main drag. So you see the main central yellow gates that are right there. Misha actually did a really good job of filming this video. Like, he was the videographer for it, he edited it, did a really good job, and he got a fantastic shot of like me going through the gates, did some really good transitions. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments tomorrow what you think of the video. Oh yeah, thank you so much to Vladislav for saying it was written Central Park named after Maxim Gorky. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, I understand obviously why they want to get rid of, you know, a certain amount of Soviet stuff, but I also believe that you can't, you know, just fully erase history, because if you do that, a lot of times you won't remember the lessons that came with that history happening, you know, I mean, to future generations anyway. So I don't quite see the point of like renaming absolutely everything and getting rid of, you know, all the remnants of even dark periods in time, because we should learn from those dark periods in history, and sometimes it takes the reminder of those things. So we'll see. So let me just get a little ways back from the gate and I'll give you guys a view, but already you should be seeing a little peek of the Ferris wheel right there. It's very cool. All right, so these are the gates of Gorky Park, Central Park. Absolutely beautiful. Whole bunch of kids. I don't know where they came from. But there is actually a huge amount of stuff for kids in this park. There is an amusement park, you know, for adults with like super scary rides, and then there's also a whole bunch of stuff for kids as well. So really great place to go for families. And we'll just go down the center here. How nice is this, guys? You see what I mean? That, you know, if you rent a scooter here, you're less likely to run into somebody because it is much more open of an area. And like right now, I would say is still fairly busy because it is Saturday and it's kind of, you know, evening time or whatever. But if you come here like during the day on a weekday, things are going to be like almost empty. So this would be like the perfect time to ride around on a scooter. If you had rollerblades, that would be even more fun. So I'm so excited to just come here for a day and explore the park on wheels. Yes, Dawn, there is a cable car in the park. And it is a ways from where I am right now. It's way over that way, but it will be in my Kharkiv video tomorrow. So definitely tune in and check it out, because that thing is from Soviet times. And it was actually an adventure just to get in the damn thing. So definitely you'll have to check out the video to see that, because I think it's going to be dark in basically 10-15 minutes. I won't be able to even make it all the way over there. I will give you guys a view of just this central part of the amusement park. One sec, guys. And yes, I am wearing comfortable walking shoes. Oh, there's a train. Look at the cute little train for the kids. We'll let them pass here. It's really a really nice carousel over there as well. So if you're too tired to walk, just take the Kharkiv choo-choo train in the park. Probably costs like $1 or something like that. You know what we should do? We'll make the Ferris wheel the place where I will sign off for the night, but why don't I take you guys just over here to some of the other attractions before we get there, because there's actually some freaking crazy rides in here. Like, this is not a Soviet amusement park as you have seen me on many times in this year. These are all like brand new rides, and some of them are just nuts. So let's go a little bit closer to, how should I get there? Let's go this way. It's a bit dark in here though, unfortunately. Actually, let me know in the comments, guys. Have you found that as you've gotten older, that it's so much harder to go on these crazy rides? Because I remember when I was, I guess in even like my childhood, like maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, up until like my early teens, I used to be able to go on freaking, crazy rides in my opinion, and feel relatively okay. Like, of course it'd be scary, and the thrill of screaming while going upside down or whatever was something that seemed like a fun time to me. But I feel like after age maybe 16, it really would make me feel like crap, and I really didn't enjoy the experience, and I would actually get like nauseous. And now I think, especially at like 30 years old, for me to go on some of these things, like, there's just no reason why I would want to do that. It is not enjoyable. I would feel like crap. So I don't even know how I went on these kinds of things when I was, a third of this age. It's very strange. So let's see what these guys do here in just a second. This is the space gun. Oh, actually, these guys are, they're getting off. Oh, so it's probably going to be a while till they go. What else can we find? What can we find? There's a roller coaster up here coming up. And yes, Jeanette, I agree. This place does look amazing. Like, everything is honestly brand new. Everything's well taken care of. It's really, really nice. Let's see if these guys go. Probably going to be a while, but I mean, we all understand what this ride does. It's going to go all the way upside down. It's going to be terrifying. Why do you guys want to do this to yourself? There was another one. There was some ride in here that honestly was insane. If I can find it. There's the Slingshot Ride, I think it's called. The ball's, I think, not in place right now, but you have like a little ball capsule and they go up and down. Nuts. This one up here, I remember, is also crazy. But I don't know, I think things are a bit quieter today. I came here usually around like 5, 6 o'clock. During the day, even on weekdays, it's super busy. Lots of people are going on rides, but I think at 8 o'clock, things actually quiet down, strangely enough. But these things are crazy. They're like these little airplanes that spin on their own, and then this thing also goes perpendicular, so they're upside down that way, and then the individual planes are also spinning. So yeah. No thanks. No thank you. And then we got this guy, just goes all the way up and then completely drops. Also not good if you just had a big lunch. And then this area is kind of the beginning of the area for the kids. Oh, that's nice. They even have like a sign that says "Besplatna," which means free for the kids, because obviously the main rides do cost money, but I don't think it's actually that much. The Ferris wheel, like I said, was $2, so most likely the rest of the rides are around that kind of price as well, or maybe you can kind of get a day pass kind of thing, which lets you go on everything. So very reasonable, considering I remember even like in Milford, my small city experience in Saskatchewan, where when I was a child, you know, 20 years ago, I remember a full day pass was like $25-$30, and like that was a lot of money for, you know, a small kind of town fair. And then if you go to like Canada's Wonderland or something like that, I think their day passes are like $60 or $70 or something like that. So the prices here are definitely so much less. There's lots of cute little statues as well in the city. Look at that. 2 kids with a turtle. Could it be any cuter? And there's also some kind of stage, I remember, by the Ferris wheel. So I think that's where the music is coming from. And they have different concerts and stuff that go on here. Well, guys, we have been going for almost 2 hours. My goodness. And we have almost 400 people here towards the end. I'm very happy with how this live stream has gone. I was actually a little bit concerned when I was starting my live stream. I think there was only like 50 or 60 people, and I was like, oh crap, I think I either started too early or there's just not as much interest, you know, in this place or something. But I'm happy to see almost 400 of you here for the second half of the live stream. But I will be tuning out here in the next couple of minutes, so if anybody has any more questions, please let me know. Look at this beautiful Ferris wheel. Aw. Thank you so much to Katsu. Greetings from Tokyo. Thank you for sharing attractive hidden secret hideout. Might be hard to actually talk now. Thank you so much, Katsu. It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming out, and hopefully I'll do a live stream from Tokyo sometime soon. So thank you so much. And oh, I see Daryl is here as well. Thank you so much for coming out, Daryl, and thank you for your PayPal super chat earlier yesterday. Thank you so much. And Jim Ross, thank you once again. Well, another great walk and talk. I'll have to join your Patreon. Has got to keep you on the road, showing us all the good stuff. Next video sounds great. You've really hyped it up so well. Looking forward to seeing it. Thank you so much, Jim. I greatly appreciate your support. And yeah, for anybody who I guess didn't know, I do have a Patreon, and you do get an extra video of content on there. It's usually a travel story time every month, where I actually kind of tell about some of my prior travels before I had a YouTube channel. Like this month is actually going to be going over my time in Peru when I was 17 years old. So if you guys are interested in additional content, definitely check out my Patreon. And I also have a postcard club and my $25 plus tier, where I send you guys postcards from a lot of different destinations. So hopefully I'll be able to find some postcards here in Kharkiv before I leave. And thank you once again to Harriet and Jim for the super chat. See you on the next one. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out. And yeah, I am going to try and fit in the Ferris wheel as I say my goodbyes to you here, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this tour of Kharkiv. It's an amazing city. Definitely recommend checking it out. And in tomorrow's video, you will see it in a much more beautifully edited sort of way than this live stream. So definitely check it out. I'm sending you guys lots of love and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys.